Welcome back to The Honest Hustle. I'm one of your hosts, Cam.
And I'm your other host, Shelton. We really would like to thank each and every one of you that tuned into our last episode with Jordan. So, Cam, what brings us back here today for another episode?
Well, Shelton, we have the utmost privilege and honor to have a one-of-a-kind guest with out-of-this-world story that we would love to hear, to bring to our viewers and listeners. Without further ado, Shelton, please introduce our second guest, Nate A.K.A Big Red.
Today, we bring you one of the most inspiring and determined individuals I've ever had the pleasure of meeting in my life. If you're not inspired by the end of Big Red's story, you may not have a pulse. Nate, both Cam and I really appreciate you taking the time to be here with us in the audience. Not everyone is willing to tell their story, and it'll be nothing less than an honor to share yours.
Thank you.
So without further ado, let's get to it, my man. Let's start from the beginning, all right, Nate? Where are you born and how was life growing up?
So I was adopted at birth out in Western New York. Grew up out there, a little town, Silver Creek. Not a whole lot of people out there. Growing up, I played lots of sports. Did lettered in 4 different sports every year. Was quite active with all that. I think my growing up was probably the same as anybody else's. Got in a little bit of trouble. Home life wasn't always the easiest, but you kind of get through. Yeah.
Oh, man. What made you, well, since we all know that my man was in the Marines, we'll start off with that. What made you want to become a Marine and join the military?
That's a good question. So around about 8th grade, 9/11 happened. And, suddenly like our country seemed like it was under attack. And I was in 8th grade English class and I watched all the teachers come in and they seemed real, concerned about something that we didn't understand. And, you find out later this is terrorists and that, this whole crazy thing happened in our country. And then from that moment on, I was just like, well, I'm big, strong, able-bodied, and I just wanted to serve. I just knew that I could handle it. My brothers and my sisters kind of have some medical limitations. And so I felt like I was going to go and basically protect them,
Oh, man. So I guess we'll just ship right to boot camp. What was boot camp like?
Boot camp was everything you see on TV, but my father was a bit of a militant man growing up, and so boot camp to me was a breeze. I was in good shape, and I think the mental tribulations growing up prepared me well to be able to handle drill instructors. Never had a problem. I enjoyed the whole time for the most part, but.
So boot camp was a breeze for my man Big Red.
I felt like it, I grew up with a lot of shit talking people, pardon my French, but so going there and kind of having the same thing, it wasn't a big deal.
My man, so all right, if that was a breeze, well, after graduation, what was the military like for you?
Well, I got a sweet gig. I was swinging with the wing, as they say. I was down in San Diego, down at Miramar. We just, day in, day out, working on F-18s, doesn't get a lot easier than that. I had a great time, met a lot of really good dudes, people that still are very active in my life, people that have helped me with my daily struggles, just good brothers.
Oh, man. Were you ever injured while you were serving in the Marines?
I had a lot of back issues. I got winged once. I had scrapes, bumps, and bruises. I guess along with everybody else gets the same thing, but I don't know. Yeah, so not overly injured.
Oh, man. Well, what was the craziest thing you ever seen happen while you were serving? If you don't mind me asking.
Craziest thing.
If it's classified, it's classified. It's okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not sure we could. The names have to be changed to protect the innocent, but I don't know. We didn't really have too many crazy stories. We spent I guess we had a good time. We partied up and then ended up in Mexico a few times. I don't know if we're allowed to say that, but party doesn't stop in Mexico. The party just keeps rolling. So there's had a few nights where I might be walking a couple of guys back to the barracks. You know, as a good Marine does, we always got our guys home. So,
Oh man. Well, on what terms did you leave the military? And why?
you know, at the end of my enlistment, I was just kind of done with that part of my life. You know, made some mistakes, learned from them, and just kind of was ready to kind of transition into civilian life.
Was it hard to adjust when you came back, like right away, or no?
You know, there's that. Yeah, as a Marine, you kind of most of your household, your chore duties are taken care of. You know, unless you're married, unless you're, you know, unfortunate enough to have two bosses. But yes, I mean, it was a little bit of an adjustment to be in charge of your own life again, making your own decisions. You know, not having mother military take care of you anymore.
Because everything is so like structured in there.
Correct. Yeah. You know, you show up with a toothache on Monday, you go get it fixed Monday afternoon. You know, there's
Right,
no,
right, right.
you know, but they took care of that for you. You know, they take care of you. You know, you're a property of the government. They make sure their property is in tip top shape.
My man. Now I'm gonna kind of take the car and go into the left lane. We're gonna go a little faster, if you feel what I'm saying.
Downshift and send it.
So now let's talk about the situation that turned you into an amputee. Because I know, like you told me in the car, most people always think it came from the military, but it absolutely did not come from the military.
That's-
So let's talk about what happened that day. Take your time, my friend.
Oh, sure. That was definitely a life changer for me. I was at a barbecue. It's 4th of July about 6 years ago, and we were just hanging out, having some hot dogs and brats, you know, burgers, just hanging out. And some gangsters or some gang affiliated people shot up our neighborhood, and I just happened to catch a couple of shotgun blasts to the side. I remember, you know, going down and then kind of falling asleep, feeling like I was just real comfortable, and I was just kind of at peace with myself. And then I remember my son, you know, my little boy, and like I was overwhelmed by the idea that he was going to grow up without a father, you know, and so I made a choice in that moment that this wasn't my time. I wasn't going to go, and yeah, I woke up in the hospital a few days later, and you know, luckily the surgeons were able to stitch me back together. I had an amazing person that was there with me, helping me, you know, figure out all the paperwork and what, you know, when they got you so sedated, it's hard to know what docs are talking about, you know. I woke up and they're like, "You're going to be good to go. You'll be up and at it." But I had some blood clotting issues, and that's what ultimately.
Also, you were actually like shot and you were straight, and the doctor's just like, "You're gonna be all right, my
They
man."
thought it was gonna be all right. Yeah, they woke me up, and then the first doctor was like, "Yeah, it's gonna be fine. You know, your body will get going. We'll get you up and running." But I had blood clotting issues, so like my left leg swelled about 4 times when it's supposed to turn blue, and I had what they performed was called a fasciotomy. They ended up having 4 of them. You know, they take all the rotted meat off your leg, release the pressure, and after another one and another one and another one, finally it was to the point where I could either have a life of pain with a leg that doesn't work at all, nothing, you know, and or I could just choose to have it amputated. And I still want to be active. Like I still coach, you know, to this day. Like I don't want to be stuck, you know, in a wheelchair or like behind a crutch or a cane. So I just pushed through it, and I went with the choice of chopping the sucker off.
So at one point, the doctor obviously just came in there. It was basically like, we're gonna have to take this leg off.
Well, yeah, I mean, think about it. The first surgery, they say 20%. We took 20% of your leg off, and then they do it again. It's 20%. Third time, I thought it was 15, and then the fourth time, they said 20% again. And I'm not a big math guy, you know.
Right, but you're like about 80% of my leg is gone at this
I'm
point.
like, my guy, what do you even chop it off? You know, what's left down there? And so I was just, you know, I talked to them. They said it'd be a drop foot. It means I'd have no control over it. It'd just be painful. And, you know,
if you would keep it on.
If I kept it, yeah. And so I just said, you know what? Let's just get rid of that, you know, altogether. And, you know, I had the prosthetic. I hope I made the right choice. But, I mean, if I got a pair of pants on, most people don't know I got it on.
Right.
So
I've got 2 to interject here. Do you remember if you were shot with like a slug, or was it like buckshot or
it was
bird?
buckshot.
Okay.
I got it twice. I had they pulled 9 pieces out of my body. I still have like 7 or 8 more, but they're in dangerous places. So most surgeons aren't willing to operate with the high risk of being paralyzed.
Sure.
You know?
And then you mentioned coaching, like kind of giving back to the community, and also that speaks to your character. What I'm curious to know, like, what's your niche sport? that you like to coach?
You know, I've coached a lot of baseball. I've coached my stepson's team, my son's team, and I had a lot of fun with baseball. But I coached flag football a couple years ago, and I played football, but then now you're playing football without defenders and the tackling and everything. So how's this game played? And it was very fun. I spent a lot of nights studying tape, and it's a receiving running game, but there's no the physicality of football isn't quite there. It's very interesting to learn, and I had a lot of fun. The rec department here in Sheboygan gave me an older team, so I had middle school kids, and it was fun to play. It was interesting to learn.
Cool. I mean, it's always nice to have someone with your background, a military background, to be able to mentor those kids and kind of give back. So thanks for sharing that.
Yeah, absolutely.
My man, not to kind of pull right back in the left lane again. Oops. No, you're good, Cam. No, I appreciate those.
It's already in the left lane.
But so honestly, I mean, this is kind of deep, but what was going through your head those first few months once your leg is gone? Honestly, you know what I mean? Were you just kind of in shock, so you're kind of gung-ho, or was it just dude?
Yeah, I don't know. I guess, like I said, my support team around me didn't really allow for me to have moments of feeling down. If I was feeling down, I said, "Hey, I'm feeling a certain way," and we just talked it through and we got going again. I never really took I'm going to get a placard for disability, and I'm like, "This is temporary, right?" The doctor's like, "Your leg's not growing back, bud. You get the placard for life," And in my mind, I'm like, "Well, I'll just get a leg. They'll stick a thing on me. I'm gonna go back, and I'm gonna go right back to what I did." And I did. It's exactly what I did. I pushed through it. They gave me a leg. I remember I was taking my kids to school at the time, and I would go take them. I would drive them around, take them where they had to go, and then I would stop at this Jamba Juice every day, and I would go get the stupid Jamba Juice. But I was on crutches, and I had no leg. So between the truck and that stupid Jamba Juice was a huge workout for me. Work it every time. Get it every time. And then I'd get back to my car, and then I had a wheelchair for a while. I'd throw that in the back of my truck, hop alongside of my truck, hop in and go. I never ever thought about not going. Never once thought about, well, my life is over, anything like that. Honestly, I was like, well, I got cool scars and cool stories, and that's that's why I'm here, right? But yeah.
So I guess it kind of correlates, but so that's basically you could still kind of answer this question. What advice would you give to other amputees? Remember that story you told me at work that you had a friend who was in the same situation that he just laid around? What could you tell the people that aren't as high spirits? Just keep fighting.
I mean, yeah, that is the main thing is to keep fighting. It's to and every amputee story is different. I lost mine in a drive-by, so that's cool. Some people are diabetics and they lose it through poor circulation, right, or you lose it through motorcycle accidents or whatever. So everybody has such a unique event. It happens for everybody. It's so different. I would say just keep focusing on the positive. Fight through it, get up, keep going. I think it's a Chinese proverb is instead of looking at the mountain in front of you, just focus on the first step. Take that one step. Do that one thing. Just start moving. Keep going. Don't sit back. And the longer you sit back, the longer you lay in bed, the longer you get in your own head, your own feelings. It makes that first step feel bigger and bigger and bigger. And really, it's just a step. Don't overthink it. I guess it's a better way to.
Oh, man. So I guess I want a kind of a shorter answer on this because you're kind of just killing it all off the bat. But what gets you out of bed in the morning?
My son. So we were talking on the car here, purpose. I have a reason, I have a job to do, and I have to do it. And that's all there is to it. Now, if I didn't have that purpose, then yeah, you get up every day, we all have to go do whatever it is that we do, whatever we're driven to do. You have to do that. But if you don't have that, then what do? If you don't have that, that should be your first step. Find out what it is in your life that you have to do. What it is you want to do. You want to become an artist. You want to become an actor, a dancer. You want to get in. You want to be a cop. You want to be a firefighter. You want to be a doctor. Do it. Start with step one. What is it? Going to school? Is it exercise? What is it? Just do that. Figure out what it is you got to do and do it.
So essentially, one foot in front of the other and keep going.
Yeah. But I think the main thing is identify what that step is. Otherwise, you get in this just perpetual, I'm just stuck spinning my wheels, not going nowhere. I'm working a dead-end job. I don't have no purpose. But take time and identify where you want to be, figure out where you are and what this is. Don't worry about this, but know that that's where we're going. We're going to chip it along. And if you could take big steps, you can go from here to here to here, do that. And if you have to take here to here to here and then fall back and then come up again and come back and maybe get right here and sit and wait, do that too. Whatever you got to do, just stay focused, stay on it,
My man. Well, I'm going to go ahead and push it over to Cam for a few questions, but I appreciate you, my man.
Well, I'm honored to kind of take the steering wheel here. Shelton's been using his car analogy, but I got 2 follow-up questions.
We drive a boat now?
Maybe. So do you know how quick they got to working on you? Because, a drive-by situation is a very, it's a tactical nightmare.
Yep.
And you know how fast they got to working on you?
And it's a great question. On the moment when it happened, I would have swore it was over an hour and a half. Just laying there. I'm kind of a smart ass. I'm talking to buddies. I'm making jokes like, "I ain't dying here. Where's my beer?" Whatever, And I'm like, "Hey, I ain't going down." And then the moment I saw the ambulance, the guy, I was like, "I'm in these hands." And I knew that whatever's going to happen is out of my hands. And I just remember passing out. And that was all. That was it. I would have sworn and I found this from a statement, that it was not 2 minutes and 11 seconds when they responded to me. From the moment I got shot and they called 911, it was 2 minutes and some odd seconds that that was under the care of somebody, an EMT. They get you to the hospital and they have this team of their best surgeon, their best this guy, and they're all suited, they're gloved, and they're standing by the door and they're ready for you. You walk in that place and shout out to Ventura Hospital, the medical center there, I think it's Community Health. They amazing people, amazing. As it was a few months later, I had some struggle with my medications and I ended up back in there trying to get me leveled out. While I was there, a guy got crushed by an iron beam. And so they call this code yellow thing. And I'm laying there just waiting to be seen by a doc. And I watch exactly what they did for me be done for this man. And it moved me. It moved me. Like I was sitting there crying. The doctor, "You okay?" And I was like, "This is what you get. This is why I'm here. 15 people are out there ready to serve me. When who the hell am I? It was an amazing feeling."
Great narration on that. I guess that my follow-up question to that was do you think a quicker application of a tourniquet to your leg would have saved that clotting, or?
No. So my left leg was a result of just blood clots, and they were higher in my leg. Like I got shot on the right, and so all the bullets, all the bleeding was this side. Actually, a good friend of mine laid on top of me and kept his finger in a wound in a very precarious spot, stopping the bleeding.
Yeah.
And so I made fun of that, but shout out to that dude, and I know when I talk to him, he's the one that's got the PTSD from it. He's the one that's really bothered by it. I'm just blessed that guy was there, and I love that dude. Never forget him.
Cool. Thank you. Well, on to my end of the show sheet. First and foremost, I want to thank you for your service, but I've got to ask because I've always wondered, with veterans like you who joined up during a controversial time, after 9/11, you're out there fighting a controversial war, kind of like the Vietnam guys that came back and they never got thanked for their service. Do you think that you get told that enough, or does that mantra of "Hey man, thanks for your service," does that bother you?
No, it doesn't bother me. At the end of the day, I signed up because I love our country. I signed up to be a patriot. And the thing about our country is it's not perfect. We have so much division in our country right now with whatever you believe, whatever you think about stuff. It's just so divided. But I fought for your right to have that feeling. I fought for everybody's right to disagree, but hopefully we can come together on, with a more enlightened answer as we go forward. So when somebody says thank you for your service, that person doesn't know what else to say. That person is just trying to express to me, "Hey, I don't really know anything about what you did or what happened, but thank you." And that's cool, and I appreciate that.
Cool. Thanks for your introspective into that. While transitioning to civilian life, dealing with all these struggles, did you ever have substance abuse issues? If you listen to our first episode, we went down a deep, dark rabbit hole with Jordan.
Sure. I would say that it's something for me everything feels loud, and it's a little bit alcohol, a little bit of marijuana, and it just those things sort of quiet those voices down. I dabbled in some of the harder stuff, but it just never stuck with me. You know, like I have some stories about that, but I never went down that path. You know, like I have done, those things, but then I saw what it was like. I didn't want that for myself. And I mean, yeah, to this day, I mean, little booze, little smoke. Other than that, I'm pretty straight life.
Cool. I guess that's cool. It doesn't do that doesn't do that justice, but it's awesome to hear that you've been through all of this and you're thriving, and there's people out there that can hear that.
Sure. I mean, dude, and then a shout out to anybody who is struggling with addiction. Anybody who does have that. Like, I went through with my leg. They gave me the best drugs you're gonna get, the best downers on the market for anybody. Don't care who you are. And when I came to getting, like I mentioned, that went back to the hospital, like I went through withdrawals, like I went through that struggle. It took me months to feel okay or normal. Like I still feel like I'm a little off. I never really came back from that person. So anybody who's going through that stuff, like that battle is a real battle, and it's a real son of a gun to try to get through. And it's anybody, don't quit. Don't quit. Just keep, like I said before, take the step, one next step, whether it's not getting high for this next minute, whether it's not getting high today, tomorrow, like just focus on what it is for you, but keep fighting.
Thank you. So when Shelton and I decided to come together to make this show, we talked about using conversations like this to obtain perspectives that could break down barriers and even stigmas. Losing your leg, I would say, is a tragedy in and of itself, but coupled with the mountain of other challenges you face today, what is it that you would tell someone listening where your mindset is to be able to keep going? I mean, and what would you tell others to keep in mind if they have someone like you in their lives, if they have a Big Red in their lives?
Well, I guess I would just have to humbly disagree with that first part. As like, it wasn't a tragedy. It was a moment in my life that I get to find out how strong I am. I know exactly how strong I am because I've had to do it. Everybody feels like a tough guy. Everybody's, you're working out, you got your bike, you're like, I'm good. Like you hear about these crazy events and you're like, I think I would be this guy in that situation. Well, I've been the guy in this situation, and I can tell you, like, I pushed through it. And I looked at it as an opportunity to see what I am. I know how strong I am. I know what I'm capable of. I think that's a very powerful thing.
So you took something that, me as a layperson looking outside in, I thought that'd be a tragedy, but you took that and you spun it to like.
But yeah, I mean, that's where you have to,
I love that. Here at the Honest Hustle, me and Shelton definitely show pride, and we work long hours. We're in the gym a lot, and we put a lot of work into stuff like this. Just leave things in a better state than what we found them. I want to hear your perspective on, I'm going to call it your never quit mentality. I heard kind of early on in your story, like, you were mentally sound going into boot camp, so that it made that a breeze for you. Just talk about your mindset for someone who's listening to get them through a hard time.
I think a lot of it for me was listening to myself, like reflection, meditation, the human mind is an amazing thing. It'll protect you. It'll erase memories for you. It'll protect you so that you can keep moving forward, typically. But like, I think really taking the time and being like, this happened to me, this event, and like for somebody who's going through whatever you're going through, take that event, look at it and see how you feel about it. And it's okay to be upset or to be angry or to be sad or, it's okay, but to really breathe it in, to feel it. I think that's the secret for me is with pain, with the suffering, is to find your pain, whether it's a mental pain, a physical pain, and then put it in your hand, metaphorically. Look at your pain, feel it, and then let it go. Hold it in yourself, understand it, and then take a big breath and let it pass. And that to me was how I got off of the narcotics. That was how I got off of, all the things that were weighing me down mentally. It was just to be like, what, this really bothers me. I'm sad because this happened, and that's okay. And then put it there, let it go, and and move forward.
Thank you for your perspective. You've given a couple of shout outs here, but I've got time in my show sheet here. If there's a message you want to give to anybody or any specific shout out to that we can use our platform to get that out there.
I guess not particularly. I mean, we're like just the people that we're kind of trying to reach, and I think the message of this podcast has been to don't quit, don't give up. Life has definitely shown me some darker sides of the thing. Life, of this existence. Life has definitely tried to beat me down, and I've been defeated. I felt defeated, but it's that choosing to get up. choosing to rise above whatever it is that you're struggling, whether it be an addiction, whether it be, violence. Some people, struggle with some of the craziest addictions you can think of. Whatever it is that's holding you back in life, don't give up on it. Don't give in to whatever it is. Fight for it. Fight for your life, and then, like I said, that mountaintop. Fight for whatever it is you're trying to get to, and then take take those steps.
Thank you. Shelton, close her up here.
Well, my friend, I really appreciate you coming out here and hanging out with us today.
Yeah, it's fun.
From the moment I met you, dude, honestly, you inspired me. From the day I met you in the kitchen at Buffalo Wild Wings, my man. Sincerely, dude. Like, just for you to even get up and keep going, and this is great for everyone in the audience to see, that to keep fighting no matter what. Doesn't matter what you're going through. And I'm sure there's somebody in a worse situation than you.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? But it's just, no matter what, you got to keep fighting. You can still be positive in life. And
but it's that mindset. It's not a worse situation. You're in a situation to find out even greater how strong you really are. It's not worse. You're just in it, it's hard to, it's apples and oranges. It's not fair to compare,
Right, no, 100%. And I appreciate your positive outlook on life, man. And to all the guests that have been giving us love and everything, we really appreciate you guys and hope you guys enjoy this video. And my man Nate's story.
Hoorah.
Absolutely. That's all we have for you today. A big thank you to Nate, A.K.A Big Red, for taking time to tell his story. And thanks to all of our supporters and followers. As I said last time, we're both new to this. We need your feedback. We love it. We made some adjustments, so keep them coming. And if you like this type of content we brought you here today, make sure to give the show a like, follow, and subscribe. Until next time, Honest Hustle, out.